This is the calibration process for using the colored spacers instead of the metal rings. We're going to adjust the float position of a 2465 from within compass while using the 2465 status window. So down here we've got the 4 spacer discs plus the steel reflector pad that goes on top. I measured the four spacers, and the red one is going to be treated as the offset, so I'm not really interested in the thickness of that, but as it represents the distance between where the float position body is and where the bottom of the mass carrier lives. So there's a bit of a gap between in there, and that red disc is used to represent that gap. It's a 5-point cal from 0% float, which is bottom stop, up to 100%, which is top stop. So the two blues are about 5.3 millimeters. The clear spacer is half of those, so that's about 2.9 millimeters. And so our points are 0%, 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100% of travel. So we go over here, go to calibrate, dead weight gauge A, float position, sensor number 1. Alright, and I go to 5-point calibrate, and it's asking for 0.1 of 5. And I'm going to set the spacers on, and then what we're going to type in here is the actual distance relative to mid-float. Now total travel is 10.8 millimeters, and therefore half of that from mid-float being 5.4 millimeters, we're going to end up with a negative 5.4 as our first point. So I go over here, take the red spacer because that represents the offset from when the weight carrier is at the bottom stop and the natural distance between the top of the sensor and the bottom of the weight carrier. And I'm going to put my metal reflector disc on that. And so by definition, this is now negative 5.4 millimeters. Type in negative 5.4 and hit OK. Now my next point is 25% from dead bottom. The red spacer will stay, and I'm going to put a clear. This represents 25% travel. And mathematically this works out to 2.4 minus 2.9 millimeters, so I'm at now negative 2.5 millimeters from dead center. 0.3. Now I'm at 50% travel. I'm going to keep the red and add a blue.